I got a pretty exciting deck to start out with today. This is the Necrobelcher. Let me see if I can have it up here. Okay, so we have been looking a lot of course, Mono Blue Belcher. This has been a big breakout deck in the modern format. It is a kind of slower combo deck where you play your cheap counter spells, you play your mana, and then you have your counter spells to protect your combo, and then you get to pop off. And then here you have a kind of a very similar formula where you are black instead of blue, and you have a bunch of discard spells and removal spells. Okay, you have a bunch of discard spells and removal. Mana traders not they gave me a trade to take the cards from me, not give me the cards. You have a bunch of discard spells and removal spells. You get to play like a pretty normal Necro game plan too. You get to play your your March of Wretched Sorrows, your Soul Spikes, one of Sheoldred. And what's really cool, I think, is that the Profane Tutors kind of tie the room together really well. One thing I like a lot is that if you have Lotus Bloom on 0 and Profane Tutor on turn 2, you can grab Goblin Charbelcher on turn 4, just win the game turn 4, which increases your number of turn 4 wins, which is very important in this format. And then you have a lot of turn 4 drops you can grab. You can grab one copy of the Ring, you can grab a Necro if Necro is better than the Ring, you can grab a one of Sheoldred. I think it's important that you don't play more than one copy of the Ring since you have so many 4 drops in the deck. Necrodominance is also pretty high on the curve, but I think this is a good number of 4 drops. One kind of fun little interaction here is that Bloodsoaked Insight is a card that it's an MDFC that I think is pretty powerful. It's one that I've wanted to have in a deck for a while. This is a 7-drop, but it costs 1 less for each life your opponents have lost this turn, and your opponent exiles the top 3 cards of their library, and until the end of your next turn, you can play those cards, spin mana as if it were any color. So kind of a weird draw 3, right? And what's I think is kind of fun is that Soul Spike sets it up. So, I might sneeze. It was so dusty down in Austin. My allergies are crazy. There's so much hay and dust in the air. I'm gonna be sneezing a lot today. But you can Soul Spike your opponent, and then for 3 mana cast Bloodsoaked Insight and cast their stuff. And now this isn't going to come up that often, but when it is going to come up, is going to be when your opponent has exiled your Charbelchers, needled your Charbelchers or something, and then this kind of gives you a plan B, cast some of their stuff after you draw a ton of cards. Not super duper reliable, but I think that this and Waterlogged Teachings are the best other 2 tapped MDFCs to play. Teachings can grab you a Soul Spike or a March of Wretched Sorrow, I guess occasionally a Fatal Push, but just mostly trying to catch you up on life. I don't think any of the other ones are better. We're not splashing any other colors really. We're just playing these tap green sources. Let's give this one a go. Just doing well in the Chalice. That's cool. There has been a kind of lower graveyard hate. It's probably very good against Dimir and Boros. Yeah, seems like it has a good amount of potential. Mono Green Belcher. I tried to build Elves Belcher, which kind of makes sense, right? You're ramping with your Elves and you're powering out Belcher, and you have the new Elf MDFC. It was not good. Could say bad even. Plus a Mauling 5, you got double discard spell here. Should we play a one of Bloodcrypt? No, it's just all of a sudden you're just spinning that wheel every time you activate Belcher instead of knowing they're gonna die. Soul Spike, we never got to try Soul Spike Beans. We did play Soul Spike Beans. It wasn't good, but we did play both these cards together, probably in multiple builds. Let me pull some stuff up. Called the Burnt Beans. We were killing the people with Thunderous Wrath, Soul Spike, Needlebite Trap, Chancellor of the Dross, and then pitching it to our Soul Spike. What a deck, I tell you what. There are decks and then there's decks, Sometime there's a deck for the time and the place. I don't know why they banned Fury. Look at this. This looks fine. It's an old couple good top decks here. Bloodcrypt is probably free because everyone just concedes to Belcher. Well, they shouldn't concede. I know that people do concede to the activation a lot. They really should not be. Like, you should be like just looking at your opponent's deck list. Have you seen the Overlord Beans deck in Standard? I've heard people talk about it. I haven't actually seen a list. It does sound very fun. Maybe when I play in the Standard Atlanta tournament in January. I think it's January. Maybe that'll be something we play. Something we look at. Yeah, but I think that going into like the end of this year, next year, like for me, it's just like I'm just having a very hard time playing RCQs. I'm just doing my weekends are very full, my days are very full. I'm writing, I'm working out, I'm working on game design. I have a wife. Okay, they billed me for. I don't know how much they billed me for there. But it's tough for me to play an RCQ. But like I think that like if I just focus on like maybe some more Magic Online tournaments, and I focus on the new GP style tournaments, that might be the best way for me to get back on the grind. So I have 22 cards left in my library. I've drawn a second copy of Soul Spike. My opponent is down to 14. If we don't draw any Lotus Blooms. But we may just... Yeah, if we attack twice more with this Trawler and draw another black card, most of the cards in our deck, just Soul Spike them out of the game. Any developments you're thinking about for Yigra? Been playing Timeless with Grief Reanimates. That sounds very nice. I don't know. I think like our Yigra list, someone top 8'd with it like last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and I think that's very exciting. I don't have. We spent it like a lot. Like usually when we spend like all week on a deck, I don't like to just kind of like immediately circle back to it very fast. But we'll get around to it. There was an Asmo build that someone submitted that I downloaded that I've been kind of wanting to toy with too. Okay. You know what? I guess I should have main phased. I should have main phased the Soul Spike so I could have cast Trawler should they counter. Would Overlord fit into a living inbuilt? This has been something I have been asked about, and the answer is I don't know. Worth considering. Okay, do I have any Soul Spikes left in my deck? There's 1 in my graveyard, 2 in my graveyard. Now, I have not been sleeping a lot the last 15 days or so. So I'm just going to double, triple check. Then I'm going to look at chat, see if they're yelling at me that it's in the yard. I don't see anything. Abe with the 15 months. Thank you. Welcome back. My opponent has no cards in their hand, so I should just be able to go Soul Spike, yeah. Draw 18. Yeah, I guess also just having this in play is pretty funny against Mill. You don't actually lose to Mill. Right, there we go. Nice. How does Bill beat Necro? You never lose? Yeah, we'll see. All right, Sheoldred in the deck. They can counter it, but yeah, it might just be like GG's. I think Ashiok maybe as like secondary win con could be good. Cast Necro. Yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to cast Necro there. I just was trying to figure out how many cards we were going to draw. Okay, we're on the draw for game 2 against Mill. With I don't know, snap keep. I'm just kind of thinking about sequencing. No, I like seeing no crab. Oh, Odawara, yeah, that's true. They definitely have an Odawara in the deck if they're playing Sunken Citadel. I think they just usually do in general, right? I might Soul Spike this, should they play a fetch land and crack it. Right, they play a lot of these, don't they? Oh, so I probably should have played that instead, although I think we're playing both those lands this game. I'm going to Soul Spike the Crab, pitch 2 marches, gain 4. And then I kind of expect to be Field of Ruined a lot. But then we can maybe just Profane Tutor for Necro and cast it off the Bloom. We'll see. How does Consign work with spin counters? So you can consign the casting of the card, because like casting a suspend card is a trigger that you can counter with Consign. You can also just stop a counter from being removed, which is not, it's not a line that I've ever seen be correct, but it's, you know, in theory could be correct. As someone that plays Modern, the most have I noticed increase in mill lately? No, I think this is my first time playing against it in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And, although I have taken like the last 3 days off. Feeling very refreshed. And incredibly tired. Somehow at the same time. Deck with biggest uptick in league seems to have been Dredge. Yeah, that's something that I was not aware of. About building a new deck with Capricious Hellraiser. Is the card too bad post Mage 3? So very unfortunately for Capricious Hellraiser, the red MDFCs, Pinnacle Monk, and the other one, neither of these are very. Wait, they didn't field me first. Neither of these are very good for the archetype. I think we're just grabbing Necro. Like, if you just could have gotten like, you need something that's good to Hellraise back an MDFC. Like if Seagate Restoration was a red card, or a Maria's Call, or Turn Timber Symbiosis, or just kind of any of these like big splashy MDFCs. If red had any of them, I would be so much more excited for Hellraiser, because it would just help enable it so much. But we didn't get that in MH3. It didn't happen, and I have thought about it some. I do still think that the card has potential, but like the problem has always been a lack of enablers, and we didn't get new enablers really. I think my opponent just, I guess, just doesn't realize how premium the field is. I think I'm gonna draw like maybe just 4. I do want to hit a land. Let's do 5. Okay, do hit a land. I'm gonna discard March. I know this Bloom is not very likely to get off, but it's like if they draw field, I'm gonna really want to have this, I think, and there's a chance this game goes quite long, because the Necro just means it's gonna be hard for them to actually end this game. But I might not be able to like actually win myself either. I might cast an Agadeem's Awakening to get back Sheoldred. I should probably just not play this, huh? Although the ability to belch him seems pretty important. I'm gonna, I think, not draw anything with this, because I just want as many cards in my library as possible. They draw 3. Very good top deck. Plays a crab. Plays a second crab. 1 card in their hand. Then they have a Field of Ruin, which is this is going to mill me for enough that they can Shelldock Isle activation, and enough that I will not have enough to belch them anymore. The new 3-mana value MDC machine works for Boom Bust Hellraiser. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that card is just like, it's just not a very good effect to Hellraiser. Never seen Belcher lose to Mill. This is the first. I mean, I don't know if we're going to lose to Mill. It kind of depends on what this is under. But we still have this in play. Didn't you win by just playing Charbelcher instead of Necro? They were hellbent. They were hellbent, but I couldn't activate the Belcher immediately. So I gave my opponent the ability to top deck a lot, or some cards to like just mill me where I can't Belcher them. So by playing Necro, I'm putting myself in a position where my opponent like actually just can't mill me. That like, then this says my opponent cannot win the game with their win condition, which I think that's pretty valuable. So I'm going to belch them, and then I'm going to look at my own revealed pile to see if we have 2 soul spikes left. We have 1 soul spike and 1 Sheoldred. So I think I should probably just draw the 12, right? It's just kind of too likely I don't have a library to belch them again. Okay, did I draw the soul spike? Did I draw the Sheoldred? I drew the Sheoldred. I did not draw my soul spike, though. Okay, so let's keep cards that do things. Profane Tutor doesn't do anything. Belcher, Lotus don't do anything. I guess Lotus could let me Agadeem's Awakening back a Sheoldred, so maybe I'll undo that. Oh, I have another Lotus coming down, so never mind. Does nothing, does nothing, does nothing. Does nothing. Does nothing. Okay. You could have stacked the deck. Oh, sorry, I did not know this was any order. I thought this was random order. Does not come up very often. That is a fun trick, though. But it says, GG, another crab, GG. I mean, I don't think that they know that I can't deck, but that's okay. Good morning, Liv. I'm going to click the keep button. I'm going to play Bloodsoaked Insight on turn 1 so that we can try to play Necro on turn 3. Isn't it nice to wake up on a Monday morning and learn something new about Modern? Ancestral Vision, I don't think targets. Yeah. Why can they not win? Necrodominance says you skip your draw step. Against Mill, you don't lose for having no cards in your library. You lose when you draw a card with no cards in your library. So if you just have Necro in play, it's very difficult. They have to like make you draw somehow because they can't really attack. But they probably have like an Odawara, maybe sink into the Stupor somewhere in the 75. Right, they unsurprisingly take my Necro. Thoughtseize Bug. So I think I would like to Consider this turn, play Insight tapped, Thoughtseize Murktide next turn, then we can march the Orc. How does Mill survive in a meta where people may Necro? Well, Necro is very unpopular. It's not really a card that people play in quantities. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. If we top deck another Necro, life is easy. 2 on top this time. So we're really going to play the Trawler into the Bowmaster. What is this other card? I am very suspicious, but I'm going to put that... Take the Murktide. I don't know how they top twice, and... Like, why are they kept a land? Why are they keeping a land here? It's literally to protect the frog from a march. But I think we just top deck Belcher. So they did this because they Thoughtseized me. They saw I had Thoughtseize. They preordained. They didn't want to get their frog Thoughtseized, which is kind of weird because their hand has 2 other threats, but they did know about it. Very interesting. Bajin, 28 months. They go back with peace and love. Belcher's gas. I think so too. Do you like the borderless Bowmaster version? It's my favorite. I do like that one. Yeah. I have 4 of the other ones that I ordered like pre-PT Barcelona, and then I opened one of these in one of our playtest drafts that I still have. I have 5 Bowmasters and 5 rings, because I also opened a ring during the playtest drafts. And no, they saw our hand with Thoughtseize. That's why they took the line. If only you could hand Hider in real life when your opponent Thoughtseizes you. No, come on, dude. You didn't top deck sink into the Stupor. That's silly. Kind of, yeah. Getting him with the Soul Spike there. All right. Game 2. Don't you think that Blue Belcher is better anyways? Lord Lightreal. Blue Belcher is likely better than this build, but this is a brew channel. We're trying things, we're learning. And brewing is not just all about finding the best deck of the format and sticking to it. A lot of it is learning and understanding how far an idea can go. You have to take your ideas that have potential, like this one, and there's a lot of potential here, maximize it to its fullest potential, then evaluate how good it is. And then once you're there, if it's not, if Blue Belcher is better and this is better, it's good because we've explored it, we figured that out, and we can come back to a deck like this later if a new card gets printed. Like a huge chunk about brewing that is very like understated is that we do this so that when new cards get printed, we've already explored these ideas and we can understand where they go in. That is like basically my entire job. I don't know, is exploring so when new cards get printed, we get to understand where they can go. Okay, I'm going to trim a soul spike, at least one, maybe just two. I think they're likely going to go way down on pushes, so like the Sheoldreds can come in. NJ, 3 months, thank you, welcome back. Actually, let me just play one Sheoldred because I'm bringing in Damnation. I want to keep the curve a little bit lower. Should Bloodsoaked Insight be black one light land for Path? Both are unlikely to matter. Well, I think I'm just like not very likely to cast that one. I'm more likely to cast like it's like this is kind of interesting with Soul Spike, so I wanted to try out this interaction. Like being able to Soul Spike and then cast it, although it's not going to come up that often. Where does it show that this is a brew channel? Probably over the course of the last 5 years of content would be where I've tried to show that, at least. But that is explicitly what this channel is. It's about brewing and exploring Magic the Gathering, mostly the modern format, because I find it to be the most interesting to brew and explore. Decided to shoot the Sheriff for Castles, but I like shoot the Sheriff a little bit more. It's of course, pretty dang marginal. I think I'm gonna suspend Profane Tutor here. I like getting to do this into open counterspell mana. Maybe not the best against Bowmaster. Nice. You pointed at something with your finger and get. Oh, I see. That's okay. I very much talk with my hands. Ever since Mingu came over, I can't stop. Go for the Throat's better. I mean, there's just like a lot of Scion of Dracos. I don't know. It's very. At the very least, it's never been something super interesting to to debate over because it's very marginal. I think we could all agree that. Very marginal. They take my land. Not too surprising. My life total ain't the highest, so we're taking this down to 1. We don't draw a land. I'm going to go to Inquisition Thoughtseize to try to clear the way for a Necro. I think I have to take the Murktide and the Counterspell. And then my opponent can consign the... They can consign the Profane trigger, but that's, I think, okay. Just suspend this one again, then keep playing this game. So Replicate is a tell. I guess I don't know. Maybe it doesn't tell us much. They don't have a 3. They don't have a 3 mana counterspell. I suspend. In a tournament, which monocolor Belcher deck would win against the other monocolor Belcher decks? Good question. The mono white one is also pretty interesting. The mono white Belcher deck I think is pretty cool. They're drawing another land. Good news for me. They also didn't surveil. They're just not playing surveillance. They board them out? I don't know. Are my not stream ready decks available anywhere? Of course not. Of course, I want to be posting good deck lists that are ready and exciting for you to consume. I don't really want to muddy the water with just lower quality content just so y'all can get early access. I think the stream is better if I take some time polishing the turds off stream. Sometimes we get a little lost in the sauce. We mess with the stuff on stream, but it is better this way, I think. I think I guess should I grab a land? I guess grabbing a land is kind of nice because then maybe I could just set up for the Belcher. All right, I'm gonna grab the Trawler. Okay, that worked out. Now, I don't think I'm gonna grab another untap land for the Belcher, but just grab a Necro first this time. Maybe I'll try. I forgot to bring in my defense grid. Well, not that I would like exactly get it here. All the monocolors, Belcher, but red. I mean, red is viable. I think red is underplayed probably, but it's kind of like red Belcher has sort of taken a backseat to red Storm, which I do think is kind of interesting. Can we have Flip Storm for fun? Sure. Do like that card. Mono red could win turn 2, right? Turn 1 with Infernal Plunge. How do you plunge on turn 1? Oh, you play Pact of the Titan. 2 on top, 0 on the bottom. Surgical Extraction in the graveyard. The Mono Red Belcher with Storm. Yeah, I've seen kind of a hybrid of the two decks too. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess I just do X equals 1 so that I'm not cold to a Harbinger of the Tides. I'm colder to Snare though. Not a big deal, I guess. It's a lot of turns in a row without drawing a land. I had to tutor for one. Deck tech for Werebear. Rakdos Taroth. I did trim one Soul Spike. Curve looks very bad. 4 main deck Rakdos Charm I don't understand. I guess I'll read the one you named it after. Creature or Planeswalker, an opponent controls is dealt non-combat damage, deals damage to the excess to any other target that's not permanent. It could also be this hammer. I don't know. The card quality seems very low. This is kind of classic, slow, inconsistent, and fragile. But also low card quality. With not a very good mana curve. You should probably play some Phyrexian Arenas to go with your Stitcher Supplier. I would probably not bark up this tree too much, though. I would play probably 0 copies of Rakdos Charm, probably 0 copies of Amulet of Safekeeping, probably 0 copy. I think you could build a deck that has like Screaming Nemesis. Sorry, oh damn it. I think you can probably build a deck that has Screaming Nemesis and Blasphemous Act, but I don't know if it's gonna look like this deck. Yeah, I do mean Phyrexian Tower. Sorry. But yeah, I would not bark up that tree too much. In response, my opponent looks at my hand by surgicling my Necrodominance. They see I have 3 Belchers. But yeah, it's very tough to deck tech here because it's just like this is just not a tree to bark up so much. There is like a 1 mana enchantment that says creature tokens get -1/-1. That card might be better than Amulet of Safekeeping. Oh, I guess you want to keep them in play for the Blasphemous Act. I don't know. I would not recommend. Okay, game 3. Yeah, you could try to be more in on like Unearth, Reckoner, Blasphemous Act, which does sound pretty fun. It does sound pretty fun. There was oh sorry, my defense grid. Oh sorry, chat. It's tough to deck tech and pivot. I've lost my skills. One of these marches was a second land. We'd be very happy with that hand. Another one-lander. Very bad matchup to mulligan to 5. Just can't keep a one-lander in this matchup. The idea is to fill the board with useless tokens for go through. Yeah, I get it. It's just so slow, and your card quality is so bad, and it's like, I mean, this is the problem. Yeah, illness in the ranks. But I get it. I get it. You want the tokens in play. It does seem very fun, but it's just not like going to be a competitive modern deck, basically, no matter how you build it. So if that's your goal, it's not something I would recommend working too hard on. This is going to be tough to fight through. So I think my best chance to win this game might be to take Force of Negation. Take Force of Negation, and then hope my opponent taps out for the frog, and then hope that I draw an untapped land and just have 12 outs to resolve a Necro and leverage that to victory. Which I think is going to be our best chance on this multiply. Opponent is just not playing Surveil lands also. Yeah, I seem to remember like Saffron Olive playing something with Boros Reckoner years ago that was kind of that, like, it was like a very obscure card to like deal damage to your own Boros Reckoner. I can't recall. They top deck the Thoughtseize, and they immediately take the Necro. One good news is my opponent doesn't have a super clean answer to my Sheoldred, so like that is something. So maybe we draw untapped land and slam Sheoldred, and that just carries us. But not looking good. The Hellion? I mean, I can't recall. I can't recall what it is. But we could do some digging maybe. Okay, big draw step. All right, Sheoldred. You are going to get Sink into the Stupid, probably. No, it was more obscure than Star of Extinction. I might not even be thinking of the right. Like, it might not even been with Reckoner. Oh, okay, it wasn't with Reckoner. It was with Nihiri's Wrath. Saffron Olive was comboing Nihiri's Wrath with a card to pop off. Oh, Boros Reckoner with Nihiri's Wrath. But there was something else. There was something else. Or it might be like Nihiri's... Yeah. I'm like kind of like itching to remember what it was. But there was I remember there being another very weird, obscure card in that pile. Spite Mare? I'm not sure. I don't think it was Volcano Hellion. Might have been. Let me see if I could just YouTube it. Oh, no beats got it. Kindle the Carnage. Discard a card at random. If you do, deals damage equal to the card's cover mana cost to each creature. Repeat this process any number of times. Very cool. I'm not sure if that was it. I feel like it was like a weird black enchantment, but we don't have to bark up this too much. Brash Taunter? Maybe that was it. Alright. Hopefully the Sheoldred solos them. No, we'll look at it later. Okay, so they fly the frog, which puts them all the way down to 10. Pigeon with the 20 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back, my friend. So if you know, no, I think it was just like a weird enchantment, but I don't know. I probably just misremembering. Down to 8. Okay, I'm up to 13. I attack my opponent. So they have a Fatal Push. Should I have played around this by just not attacking? I don't know if I have it in me to do that, but it might have been the winning line. They don't have a fatal push. I think we kill the frog. It could be like the frog is pretty like scary for them, but I used to watch so much Saffron Olive back in the day. Okay, 6 life points. 2 cards in him. I'm up to 11. Yeah, I think I'm just casting this Trawler. Make a Murktide worse, get another creature in play. I don't really mind so much if this frog hits me, because then they'll be down to 2. Playing a mono black Necro deck that's also a Belcher deck. My opponent discards Thoughtseize. I agree that those cards don't seem good. Then they discard Swamp. Then my opponent goes to combat. I imagine they're gonna fly the frog. Kind of shocking how well Sheoldred plus medium black cards doing well here. Well, it's just because they very likely boarded out their pushes because they know I'm in a Belcher deck. All right, nice, good to be Boros. Sorry, I forgot to bring in the defense grid.
Else. Allergy medicine. Ooh, I also have like that tea that makes your throat feel better.
I'm just kind of stuffy. I'm not as congested as you, I guess.
Yeah, I was rocking hard. I was a rock star last night, so that's when my throat hurts, you know. Rock star. Woo! Did you tell them about our time?
I told some. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I said we went to a concert and we're very sleepy.
Well, we went to ACL and we saw Chapel Road. So my hair is from last night still. All day yesterday. It held up.
It did hold up. Cool kid, 40 months. Probably a good matchup. What's crazy is I built this deck that they're playing, the red-green Delirium build, and then it's just like so clear that the black splash for Goyf is better. If you want to say anything else, sweetie, you can. The black splash is so much better, but the Beastie build was just like very popular, I think, on on YouTube, and so now I don't know. I guess it was my fault for not having the better build earlier. Yeah, I guess I'll take some Zyrtec. We can get weird today. Okay, so this is going to be a turn 4 win for us. We'll see. We might be dead. Obviously, this is a pretty painful start. Been so flabbergasted right to the Chaperone concert last night. I was pretty unrecognizable. I had like a bandana on, because of all the dust. Cool kid, 40 months. But I was thinking that, yeah, there are probably some spikelings out there. They cast a Tar Fire, but they didn't draw a fetch land, so no Delirium. We need to be at least 4 life next turn for us to win the game. I guess. Let's see. So I grab a Soul Spike, and then I grab a draw a black card. Then I guess I still can't Soul Spike, then Belch. I'm trying to John list. I found that it saves name. Taking the Saves Name package for some Thoughtseize and Street Race help the Bestow Phoenix without losing Delirium. Yeah, I saw that Doomwake was playing Thoughtseize in his build that he played in his RCQ, which I thought was kind of interesting. I did like the Saves Name package, but Thoughtseize sounds kind of nice. And you can go down on some removal. Street Wraith also seems good too. I'm not sure, Boo Boo. Maybe someone else knows. Lumbering Falls, 29 months. Welcome back. All right. Looks like we are going to belch him. That was kind of nice when your Profane Tutor is like, oh, I already have everything I need. Don't worry. I'm going to grab the One Ring to make it chat mad. Yeah, I mean, the performances were great, but it was just hot and dusty, and there was no cloud in the sky. But thankfully, I'm just happy to not be sunburned. Okay, so up a game against Delirium aggro. Let's bring in the Spell Bombs, the Surgical, the Path of Perils, the Damnation. Thank you. Should I cut my blooms?
Also, you had this tea out on the counter, so you maybe wanted it for yourself and forgot it.
I had one already, but
Well,
yeah, I don't know where that one came from. Might have been my sister who was watching the dogs. I'm gonna cut the Thoughtseizes. Cutting the blooms is weird because it turns off our turn 4 kills. Maybe I'll just cut the Profane Tutors. They seem pretty slow. Let's try this. Why did I cut the blooms? Well, mostly because I'm bringing in a lot of removal, and so if I'm wanting to play like a more slower control plan, cutting the blooms could be correct. But I agree. Let's just do this.
you guys want to know a story of Everett's mind? We were literally in Austin, and we were just hanging out, eating dinner or something, and he's like, "I have my 2 deck ideas for Monday. I'm ready. I'm prepped."
Yeah.
So he's just thinking about it throughout the day. I don't know what's going on.
Mostly on the drive.
Mostly on the drive. Yeah, so he's like, I got my deck ideas prepped. Nothing else. So that's the story behind these.
Thank you, sweetie.
So if they're good, that's amazing. And if they're not good, then
This one's going
okay.
this one's going pretty good
Then
today,
you
I
can
think.
say, hey, I didn't prep as much.
Although we did like round 1 queue into like our round 1 opponent was playing Knight Errant, Aveos, and Ghost Quarter, which are 2 hilariously good cards against our deck that are but they're both pretty obscure. Ghost Quarter especially, like I haven't seen a Ghost Quarter in Modern in probably a year, and as soon as we play a deck that is incredibly weak to it, that we immediately play against it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You want some more?
No, I'm okay.
Oh. All right. I'll see you.
Bye bye. Well, I guess we're just belching, huh? Is Death Shadow good in this list? You lose life so fast. So, Death Shadow is only a good card if you are an aggro deck with a low mana curve. You can maybe play it in the Delirium deck if you play Wraith. But yeah, it's an aggro card. You got to play only aggro cards in aggro decks. All right, we're getting arena'd here. Is it a fly trap? Or looks like a FOMO. Okay, we're getting tar fired, and then so this is 7 times, so they can fly trap hit me for 12. No soul spike for me. I will say it's cool. It's cool to be on the other end of this. I'm honored and humbled to be on the receiving end of the fly trap for the first time. Hitting it for 14, right? Down to 1 life point, 1 precious life point. I don't know if I have outs because I can't revolt push this. Game 3. Fun to be on that end. Alright, let's go to game 3. How this do against Needle Flute of Flex? We have some alternate win cons. You have your Sheoldred. You have your secret win con of Bloodsoaked Insight plus Soul Spike, where you like just grab some of their stuff to win the game with. But I would say Needle is a good card against us for sure. Okay, opponents on the Multi 6. 4-1 league, 5-2 with cool white-black Overlord deck. Solitude Ephemerate seems super strong. I agree it's good together. Solitude individually is kind of tough. I had a build that was like a white-black Overlord Felia deck that I just wasn't that excited about, but it didn't seem awful, and so maybe I will circle back. If you want to share your list, I can take a look. Maybe I could pull mine up. I don't know if it's on this account or the other one though. Arguably board out Necrodominance in this matchup. It's kind of interesting. Probably could never board it out, but I'd be open to it. Play against Doomeg playing Gen Fletch up RCQ over weekend. Yeah, I saw that he played it at the RCQ, which is funny. Or I don't know, funny. It was cool. But I'm glad that it's picking up. Like I like that deck a lot, and you know, like this is kind of what we do. A new set comes out. we build a deck that we like, but it's just like, okay, we kind of figured that one out. Let's move on. Ooh, tough keep over there. They did build a 5, right? Red-white overlords, red-white overlords, and Resto Kiki Carnosaur. The red and white overlords are both pretty bad, and it sounds like we also have Resto, we also have Kiki, we also have Carnosaur. What does the mana curve look like? Probably not very good. Although someone suggested today playing a FOMO Kiki combo deck, and I will say it is pretty exciting to have a good red creature combo with Kiki. What I want is for it to be bragging rights. I want people to be like, I want everyone to see it, you know. We're talking FOMO and Kiki. Yeah, FOMO, like, I have, like, several times kind of wish there was a good red creature to combo with Kiki, and FOMO does, so I'm pretty interested in messing around with that. Kiki is a 5 mana card, but I don't know. I'm just kind of open to working on it, and like it's always good when your combo is combined with like another kind of higher quality card too, if that makes sense. All right, we'll take a counterspell. It's like maybe I can think of an example. Like some combos we've been talking about have Psychic Frog involved with like Agatha's Soul Cauldron, and like when that's the case, like if one of your cards is comboing and one of your cards is a very good modern card, it's just good. Could Gores with Kiki? Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could maybe Kiki. You could Cauldron the Kiki. Yeah, you could Woodlands Kiki. Yeah, there's like a lot going on. So I'm gonna work on that tonight. That'll be my first deck we work on, and then if it's good enough, we'll play it on stream. Ironcrag Feet Kiki. It's kind of, well, you can't. It's not better than like a ritual, right? Because like you could ritual Kiki and then have it out, or you could maybe like Ruby Medallion though. I'm excited to work on it. I don't know. We could maybe even build it on. Maybe we could maybe try to build it on stream. If that's like something that like is if everyone's just really on board, that could be something to do. I'm gonna take Inquisition here. You drew the other 2 counter spells? Okay, well, we're gonna take our time here. Tell you what, not gonna crack our bloom. Everyone say yes to brewing on. That's true. Usually when we're like, should we brew on stream? Everyone's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's brew on stream, and then everyone leaves. Have you Fable copied FOMO? I've had them in the same deck before. I don't think I've actually done it, but I am aware of the interaction. Do I consider Besiege? Not really. Besiege is just like a card that I think you need a lot of enablers for me to really want to register a Besiege. Alright, so simply get rid of all 4 counter spells, then you can resolve a Necro. Maybe we get got a Bowmastered here. We don't. Let's draw 5. Always very scientific and thought out, the number of cards you draw. Yeah, we'll probably play Fable in these decks. I don't know. This is probably something we should do off stream. It's just like it's probably gonna be like a 2-hour brew for me. So this is a murky. Same thing, I guess. So the last card is just a snare. So why don't I just go Bloom, untapped Trawler, resolve this Goblin Charbelcher, draw 9 cards, and then March the Oculus. Kiki is 5 mana value. Can't you read rituals for delirium plus turn 3 win? I mean, rituals are just kind of bad, you know. But you could possibly turn 3 win. I think Ruby Medallion sounds maybe better because it's like FOMO costs only 1 mana. Kiki costs 4, and then you're like kind of curving kind of well with all this stuff. But we will work on it, I promise. Doesn't have to be mono red. Shifting Woodland sounds pretty interesting in the list too. I will probably. I think we're just. I'm not gonna play it today on stream. I have a backup deck we'll get to. I will work on it tonight because like you could be mono red, you could be green red, you could be Gorios, you could play Cauldron. I'm gonna have to test like 3 or 4 different builds tonight probably, but I'm excited. It'll be good. Okay, so grid in this time. Spellbomb's in. Let's not play Surgical, I think. Bring in the Damnation. Sheoldred was like really crazy last time, so let's bring it in. I think I'm gonna cut all the Soul Spikes, especially with the second Sheoldred. And then, what else did I cut last time? I guess I just didn't bring in all these spell bombs. Maybe that's correct. Yeah, I think all the other cards are kind of more important. With Necro, do you ever have not enough large enough library to Belcher? It came up against Mill earlier today actually, but it was more because of the Mill than the Necro. But with Soul Spike, it's not really much of a concern. Gorio's Cauldron or Sheoldred goes to Brimstone 6. We've done that before. I've done a pre-image 3, and I tried to come back to it with Psychic Frog. Didn't really find a good build. Bambino with the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Here's the Overlord deck. Yeah, let me take a look, people. Let me play this tapped. Also playing the White Overlord. Wow. 4 is so many. It's so many. You also can't get it back with this Overlord, which I don't like. Wow. Looks cool. I don't know. I mean, Archon 2 is interesting. This is a very cool build. I kind of want to go back to like more Felias. Like I did definitely feel like Hexmage was better than Felia, but I want to give Felia more of a fair shake because she is like a really powerful dog, and but she just isn't very well positioned. This is cool. Like the feedback that this card was good for you is interesting. It is very good if you have like the Hexmage or the Felia, and I guess if you just have a bunch of those, then maybe that's just a good plan. Yeah, if you Felia an Overlord, it comes back as a creature. It works how you want it to, I guess. So I can go Thoughtseize them. They'll have 3 cards in their hand. Let's just maul. They have Pierce. They have Pierce. I don't want to wait for them to like crack the fetch. They just probably won't. Also very good at persist. Yeah. Force is okay. Did you try White of the Reliquary and Crypt of Agadeem together? Yeah, we tried so many Crypt of Agadeem builds. I had so much fun. I think I'm going to try to be off of Crypt of Agadeem for like a week. You hear about a Mill player that played for top 8 against a Battlewoods player could see the deck presentation. I thought I saw that on Twitter, but I thought that they conceded. I thought it was like round 1 of F&M, but maybe I guess I'm misremembering. Very funny either way. Try a similar deck. It's really hard to attack with Felia to survive. If you do get to flip Overlords, I hope it's enough. Yeah, I agree. I tried it too. She plays some Felias probably. It's probably easier with Grief Legal. So they unearth a Bowmaster, 2 cards in their hand. We have a Profane Tutor coming off suspend. I don't have Path of Peril in my deck. Maybe that's a mistake. I have a lot of good stuff to tap out for. Okay. I guess that's fine. It's kind of like I just tutored for a discard spell. So Thoughtseize their counter spell. Not a great time to be wrong. So I'm down to 10, then I'm down to 9, then I'm down to 6, but then we're up to 10 again. And then I go take 4, hope they brick, play Belcher. Seems like a good plan. I was happy with second Felly. She was great sometimes. Yeah, I really want Felly to be good in that deck. My build was like a little bit like more like I was playing like Ranger Captain and stuff. Third Bowmaster, so I'm down to 9, and then I take 5 down to 4, and then I can't Belcher. Not ideal for me, I guess. So I have to cast this ring. Was bolting your land there a net loss? Shoot. Sorry, I guess I just didn't need to do that. How did the new version of Archway Eldrazi perform? It was good. I really like that deck. I think it's a deck that like it's one of those like I really like, and it doesn't usually get the love I think it deserves. Okay, so Fatal Push, Damnation, March maybe. I'm down to 3. Game 3. We beat him in game 3 earlier this league. We'll just do it again. I'm gonna play a Path of Peril over the Spellbomb. I think if like there was just a spot that I really wanted to Profane Tutor for it, then probably should just be a 1-in for the next game. Couldn't even cleave with Lotus sometimes. Does anyone play Echo with Bowmaster and Frog? It's been done sometimes. It's pretty cool, but it's just so bad against opposing Bowmaster because you go like end of turn Bowmaster, ping them, and then when you cast Echo, they Bowmaster your Bowmaster, and it's just over. It's like lines up so gross for them. But I actually really like the Archway Eldrazi deck. That's one that I think is kind of a sleeper. I'm gonna click the keep button. I think I'm gonna Inquisition on turn 1. Not that most builds play discard spells, but I don't think we've been discarded by them. But our earlier Dimir opponent did Thoughtseize us, and it was like we just could not get Thoughtseize with this hand. Do you find yourself short on evidence for Phoenix with the Delirium deck? I want to try some Olafats or Street Wraiths. I mean, it's not that I always had perfect evidence to collect, but it wasn't a problem very often. I like if you weren't playing Say Its Name, and so like I do think that you can't just not play Say Its Name and then just be very comfortable for evidence collecting. But if you could maybe play some Wraiths in that spot, yeah, and it would be fine. But I also got that feedback on like the Hollow One deck, and I don't know, I just usually I feel like I have enough evidence. Was it not possible to ring on opponent's turn and gain life with Sheoldred? I mean, you take more damage. You take 6, gain 4, so it's not really a positive exchange. Okay, so they're missing their third land. I'm missing my second land. They have 2 consigns, 2 counterspells, 2 bowmasters. I'm going to take a counterspell, I think, since my hand is not very weak to consign. I've got 2 removal spells against the bowmasters. Hopefully they don't draw a second land. They did not, thankfully. Second counterspell out of their hand, probably. Force of Negation. I'm going to take that. Let's take that one. Bowmaster in the graveyard. They found their land, so we need to find ours now. They're holding up the consign. We do find ours. Unfortunately, it is tapped. Their hand is consign, counterspell, bowmaster, and then a new card after the draw. Kind of an exciting game. They find another land, then they pass. I play this tapped. I cast a Necrodominance. Will they counter? Will they bowmaster?
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
They use the counterspell. Their hand is consign, bowmaster. Drew Murktide? Unearth, Harbinger of the Seas. Nauseating. I have no Belcher in my hand to punish them. I guess they would have consign. With them having double consign, I'm going to speed this one up. Very sad. Let's get our trophy prediction paid out as a failure, and then get a 4-1 prediction. One more thing to say, I guess. All right. 4 lands and a Belcher on the play against the Giganta. Let's try it. I boarded out all my soul spikes, which is maybe a mistake. Basic Plains, Ocelot Pride. So we're gonna just probably spend 2 mana and march this. Let's go ahead and keep the option to Trawler available. Raptor into Guide. Pushes a nice top deck. I don't have anything else, especially top deck to unearth a. Oh, sorry, I should push this. These feel so silly if they flip a ring here. They flip a Goblin Bombardment. Then they attack for 2, and we just gotta dodge a Static Prison. It's nice that if they can somehow deal us 13, which isn't very likely, we have the Soul Spike. So my opponent will have enough energy to cast whatever. So I don't want a Soul Spike in response. Not that the ring would even matter. Dodge, Static Prison. Flage. Okay, I'm just gonna spike them now. Show them. That might be like close to lethal. This would be 7. Attack for 7. I should attack for 6. Then deal me 4 plus 5 or 3 plus 5. 8 plus 14. Yeah. Yeah, we were dead without the Soul Spike. Triple Amped Raptor. We'll do that. We're going to spike them instead of a creature so we can gain the life. Although I guess if we like killed the Amped Raptor, it's like the same. Let's activate Goblin Charbelcher instead of casting Fel the Profane. And let's target them. I remember I played, whenever they reprinted Belcher, it was like, what was that, Brothers War? I played a sealed RCQ at like the DreamHack Atlanta. And I had an opponent who drafted Belcher and on turn 4 cast Belcher, and on every single turn just activated it targeting me. Activated it targeting me. Activated targeting me. And I had like a lot of creatures in play, and if my opponent had just like targeted those creatures, I almost definitely would have lost. But he didn't. He just went boom, boom, and I won the game very easily. Very, very nice guy though. All right, I am clicking submit. He was correct. I think it's yeah, he was confident. I'll tell you what. I have kind of a close hand. I think we're gonna keep this on draw. I mean, I like having Soul Spike, March, Necro as much as the next gamer. Main phase Surveil. I mean, I guess this hand is very weak to Blood Moon. We have some hands that are good against Blood Moon because of the Belcher Lotuses. This is not one of them. It's okay, I think. Did you ever draft Into the Woods second in history of draft? That was a big meme in like my friend group. They find a bolt here. The Into the Woods deck. We would daydream about it pretty often. I think I'm gonna march this now. So that I'd play around like Discharge on the Raptor. That was a big meme in our group, like daydreaming about the Lost in the Woods deck, and you know, back in the day. But I like even if I had a Lost in the Woods, I would really not want to draft it because it just seems so boring. Like especially now if you're gonna do it in paper, like how often do you get to draft Innistrad? You really just want to you want your gameplay experience to be like, I'm gonna mulligan to my Lost in the Woods, and hope they don't have it. They didn't draft a Disenchant. On top land, top deck is so sick here. But maybe if you're doing like a lot of Innistrad drafts, it would be fun. Okay, we have a Soul Spike. Like 10-ish seems pretty good. So this is supposed to be down to 8, then up to 12 with 10 cards in my hand after. It's probably a little much. Let's do 8. We didn't find second Soul Spike. So I'm going to pitch 1, 2, and then we'll discard 2 Lotus Blooms. A nice free side deck. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, not the worst static prison for us. They hit me for 2 down to 12. They play an Arena of Glory with 2 cards in hand. Flipadelphia, Johnny. Probably makes another cat. This is coming down not this turn, but next turn. So we get untap land, Fell the Profane, Johnny. I think instead I would like to cast a Sheoldred. They take down the energy to 3 counters, 2 cards in hand. They have another static prison, which is the opposite of good, whatever that word is. 2 cards in hand. They plus the Ajani, 2 counters on the cats. I get attacked down to 3 life points, dead to a Flage, dead to a Bolt, although they've already used 2 bolts. Gigantha in hand. Hasty Gigantha coming down next turn. Thankfully, I have a Lotus Bloom coming down, and they have no... Okay, I'm like, okay, we can go push, mauling the Gigantha, and then like hope that these tick down. Instead, I have top decked a Goblin Charbelcher. Get belched. See you next time.
Get belched.
Get belched. Yeah, skill game. Okay, a nice 4-1. Very close to a trophy. That the Demir match was like pretty dang close. Could have really gone either way. Did beat Demir another time. This league. Pure Bane, 23 months. Thank you, welcome back. Okay, I think since the Kiki Jiki FOMO idea is so exciting,